All right, so usually when I draw with a pencil, I use a pack of pencils like these because there's a wide variety of hardnesses within. You got the hard pencils like 10H, that's a really, really hard one, draws really light lines, almost invisible sometimes. And you got really soft ones like 10B, which is almost like a piece of charcoal. And then got all the ones in between. Your classical number 2 pencil is probably somewhere here in the middle, like a HB or a F, or it's really hard to say because there's no standardized method of measuring the hardness of the pencils. Anyways, sometimes I also like drawing with a nice mechanical pencil, but you don't usually get the same variety. You just have like one piece of lead in there. However, I don't really even know what kind of lead came in this mechanical pencil. So what I want to do today is do a mechanical pencil drawing, but have the option of hard, medium, and soft leads. So what I've done is I have three mechanical pencils, and then I bought a pack of different hardnesses of leads. I think that's what this is. Okay, what is this though? I think maybe this is just like a bonus little thing, just some little post-it tabs. I didn't really know I was getting these, but I won't complain. What I really want here is all of these. See what we've got. I like all the color coding. That's pretty. Let's put them in order. Over on this side, we need the B's. 4B, 3B, 2B. Wait, these are, I think I might be doing it backwards. That's why I'm confused. 4H, 3H, 2H, H, F, HB, B, 2B, or not to be, 3B, 4B. There we go. So I think I'll take these two and one of these two. Maybe I'll take the F one just for variety, so that, because there's already a B over here and there's already an H over here. So the F, that way I can say I have a B, an F, and an H. Let's get rid of all these. All right, there was some extra lead still in this pencil. I'm going to put the F lead in my original pencil, and this mechanical pencil might have already had the F lead in it, but just so I know what was in there, I'm going to put 3 pieces of lead in there. Okay. All right, this one is a Pentel Stein 0.5. Okay. And then for the soft lead, I think I'm going to use this one. This zebra. This zebra mechanical pencil is what I'm going to use there. Here on the back, it has some cool graphics. During writing, force is put on the pencil tip, therefore lead breaks. But here with this thing, apparently the pencil tip comes out to protect the lead or something. I'm not really seeing that happening. But, oh well, I'm not really too worried about it, I guess. Anyways, we got to get the old unknown lead out of there. This one didn't even come with any extra lead. It only had one piece in there. Then we're going to put the 4B lead in there. These are nice little containers. I like that. I feel like I might have just broken a piece, but look, you pop them out, and then you go like this, and you can grab a few pieces. Very convenient. All right, 3 pieces of 4B loaded up. That's right. It's the Zebra Delgard system. I'm not really seeing the tip move like advertised, but maybe it's some sort of imperceptible lead protection that's not visible to the naked eye. Not too worried about it. And finally, for the hard lead, the 4H lead, we're going to use this, the Tombow monograph thing. Nice selection of Japanese pens here. I love all the little graphics, and I don't know. I love making little doodles that look like Asian characters like these. So just the crisp minimalist design I've always been a fan of. How does this one work? This one you twist for the eraser to come in and out, and then there must be, this is how you extend the lead. You click it like this. It's a little different. Sure, it's weird when you shake it. I think maybe that's a feature. You can see here. Shake it. Maybe that's what sticks. I don't know if there's more lead in here, though. Oh, there is more lead in there. There's another piece coming out. I don't know how to open it up, though. I'm trying to open it, but I feel like, here on here it says lead lock on or off. I don't really feel it. I don't really understand what's going on here. Nothing is really feeling like it's locking on or off. I don't know how to open it to put more lead in, like other pens. There's definitely some metal weight in there that's moving back and forth. Maybe I extend the eraser all the way. And that's how I can... No, because there's a little thing there keeping... Wait, this little thing here suggests that this whole thing comes out. Oh, it just pops right out. You don't twist it. I think I was overthinking it. Won't be the first time I'm guilty of that. The eraser just twists right back down in there. A bigger eraser than the other pens. Let's put the lead in there. This pen definitely has some more interesting features that the other pens don't have. Features I've never seen in other mechanical pencils, but the thing is, I'm not sure they're features I ever expected or wanted or asked for or needed. Anyways, or even features I completely comprehend. Okay, we have our 3 pencils ready to go. Clean up our workspace, and we can start drawing. I have a piece of paper. I just have to remember which pen is which. Hard lead, the Tombow monograph. Medium, Pentel Stein. And then the soft lead, the Zebra Delgard. This is not special paper, it's just kind of like thick printer paper. So maybe I should be using special paper, but we'll see. All right, so one or 2 days ago, I was sitting in the coffee shop reading To Kill a Mockingbird, and it had probably been, since high school or middle school, or whenever they usually make you read this book. since I had read it. And I only read about the first chapter, maybe first couple of chapters, sitting there reading it. And I didn't plan on reading this book. It's only because I pulled up to the coffee shop and I had accidentally left my other book that I meant to read at home. And I had To Kill a Mockingbird in my passenger seat because I had just been to a local used bookstore. My power had been out during the day, so I went over there to kind of burn some time wandering around, looking at stuff inside the store. And I didn't end up getting anything, but I wanted some books to use as collage materials, so I went out behind the bookstore, the used bookstore, to rifle through the dumpsters. And the dumpsters behind this place are just full of books. And a lot of the paperback books, for some reason, they tear the covers off of before they dump them into the dumpster. But the hardcover books, I guess, are maybe too much of a challenge for them. And so I ended up finding this copy, this nice old copy of To Kill a Mockingbird. I grabbed it along with some other, I think maybe there was an old paperback version of I, Robot by Isaac Asimov. Don't know if I'll read that. I think I've read it already. I listened to it on audiobook or something. Of course, the cover was torn off of that. Anyways, I ended up at the coffee shop reading To Kill a Mockingbird, and it reminded me of some things I had read about Harper Lee, that she had, well, first of all, her real name is Nell Harper Lee, but when she got published, they were afraid that people would mispronounce or misread. Her first name is Nellie, and it would just be too complicated, so her agent or her publicist, her publisher, would be just like, hey, let's just do Harper Lee. Anyways, since publishing it, I think she died in like 2016, but even near the time she died, she was still making apparently $8,000 or $9,000 a day in royalties from this book. And it was the only book she ever read. Only book she ever wrote. Well, apart from 1 year before she died, she published a second book, and there's a weird amount of controversy about that, because some people were like, she can barely read and write, and she's like losing her mind. She can barely like read the contract she had her signed to publish this other novel. And the other novel she published was called Go Set a Watchman, which was the novel she wrote first and adapted over a few years that became To Kill a Mockingbird. She was just like some regular person in New York with friends working for like an airline, setting appointments or something. And then as a gift, a bunch of her friends came together for her birthday and said, hey, here's 1 year's worth of living expenses. Go write a book. Okay, so maybe she wasn't a normal person, because I don't know. Maybe I don't know. That just sounds like very crazy circumstances. She must have been talking about reading a lot. Maybe she was talking about writing all the time. And then her friends were just like, there's no way we can ever get her to shut up about writing unless we're just like, we just got to get it over with in 1 year. At the end of 1 year, either she'll have written a book or she won't, and she won't have any more excuses after that 1 year. So let's all just put together the money. I hope there were a lot of them, because if it was only like 2 or 3 of them putting together that kind of money, I feel like that was a very large financial burden potentially. But anyways, so after that 1 year, she had written what was going to be, I guess, the scraps of Go Set a Watchman. And then with her working with her publisher and other people, that book turned into To Kill a Mockingbird. I think I haven't read Go Set a Watchman, but I think it's like a loose collection of anecdotes, which has the main character of To Kill a Mockingbird when they're older. Anyways, I was sitting in the coffee shop reading this book only like the first chapter or so, but I guess it is a pretty good book because I was even moved just with these first few words, because in this story there's like the main character, the protagonist, is an 8-year-old kid, and they're like talking about this scary house that's across the street or down the corner from them, and the kid, I don't even know if it's a boy or a girl, but they ask their dad. For some reason, this weird little part of it sticks out to me. They ask their dad, Atticus. They ask them if the door of the house ever had a screen, and the dad tells them, yeah, that it had a screen door before you were born. And so this 8-year-old kid, and it, for some reason, it just made me think about how things before you were born only, like as an 8-year-old, I can think back to things that happened. I mean, as a 32-year-old now, but as a 32-year-old, I can think back to things that happened 8 years ago, more than 8 years ago. I can think back to things that happened 10 or 15 years ago, and they seem pretty recent. A lot of them seem pretty fresh, and I'm shocked that they were 10 or 15 years ago, right? But I know when I was 10 or 15 or 8, and when my dad told me stories about things that happened before I was born, it seemed like it was literally forever ago. All of these events took place in some kind of non-existent, eternal before time. Even though I know to him, it probably felt the same way as it does to me thinking about stuff that happened 8 or 10 or 15 years ago. And it just made me feel so weird about how fast life happens. But it's all about perspective too. Just about based on how old you are and how long you've been on Earth, and how it's hard to conceive time that you haven't been alive for, I guess. I don't know. Because even for me, thinking about my life before I was alive, it's all just kind of some big black swirling nebula of unknowableness. But for all the people that were alive then, it was just their regular life, and they can think back, and it probably doesn't really seem like it was that long ago. It's just so weird to me that the same people, that we can all think about the same time and have such a totally different concept of it and feel completely different ways about it. Like if we all thought about like 1985, the people who had been alive then, living life, would be like, oh yeah, I was doing this, that. And it wouldn't feel maybe that different than like 1995. But for me, 1985 and 1995 are inconceivably different, right? Because I have memories from one of them. Actually, I don't know if I have that memories from being that. Well, I have some memories from being 5 years old, but they're mostly just, yeah. Actually, that's when a lot of my best childhood memories are, because that's when I lived in the Philippines, just running around doing nothing, barefoot, climbing trees, playing in the mud, building forts in like tree forts and stuff. Good times. Anyways, I don't know where I was going with this conversation, but here's another pencil drawing for you. Been enjoying these, and I'll see you all later. Hope you're doing good. I want to wish you some kind of helpful wish about your life unfolding well, and that then when you look back on, maybe in 10 years, when you look back on this day, it'll be a good feeling. That's what's been motivating me lately. But that also feels like I'm not living in the moment. That also makes me feel like I'm living in the future. And then in the future, I'll be living in the past, trying to tie the future and the past together in some weird way. I don't know. Anyways, all right, goodbye. Goodbye. Also, I looked up. I thought after reading about how much money Harper Lee was making from books every day, I was like, wow, she must be like a billionaire when she died. But she only was worth like $34 million, which obviously is a lot. But for some reason, I thought it was going to be more than that. And then I thought she must have been one of the like highest selling authors ever, but she wasn't even in like the top 100. And then I looked it up, and of course, people like J.K. Rowling were up there, but then there was all these people I hadn't even heard of, who are way up there. Like number one was, according to this list of best-selling fiction authors on Wikipedia, was William Shakespeare. Anywhere from 2 to 4 billion sales. Agatha Christie, number 2, for all those like mysteries books that she wrote. And then number 3 was this person who I'd never even heard this name of before. Never even heard this name, Barbara Cartland. Anywhere from 5 million to 1 billion sales. The thing I like the most about her is that she lived from 1901 to 2000. That's just such a satisfying range of years to me. That's like perfect. Anyways, she wrote 723 books. Just absolutely prolific. But then I scrolled farther down, like number 10 or 15 down here was this Spanish author named Corin Tellado, who I just now saw actually. It says he wrote 4,000 books. Goodness gracious. Anyways, all right, I'll see y'all later. Goodbye.